Well, hello, my friend. This is Joe Bakhmutsky. I am the founder of Power to Be Happy and the author of Finding Hope in Times of Uncertainty, a guide to thriving in a challenging world of today. And listen, it's so critical to get the recognition and the appreciation that you truly deserve to have in your life. You know, from your loved ones, from people that you work with. I mean, it's just so critical. And you deserve that, right? Because you're doing so much. You're really doing the best that you can. And you really deserve to have the love, the respect, just like the good vibes with people around you. But sometimes it doesn't happen. And that's just so frustrating. And it can be so infuriating and so just hurtful, right? It's just, you kind of expect people to do the right thing, and then it doesn't really happen, and then you feel upset, and then you feel mad at them, and it's just not a great place to be in. And something that, I don't know about you, but like I sometimes really find myself in, and it just really gets me upset, and I can't stop thinking about it. It's awful. And I truly believe that oftentimes it's not because people like don't care for you, or they don't appreciate you, or they don't love you. It's just that sometimes you're gonna get like this kind of cross wires about like what do we want and what do we need, and ultimately like how do we like communicate that to each other so that kind of everyone is on the same page, like we're all clear about what's going on. Right? That is so important. And it all, to me, comes back to the idea of value. And I believe that value is always happening in kind of two sides, right? In every interaction, right? Because you're always like interacting with someone, right? Whether that's, and it's always, you know, someone in your life, right? Whether that's, you know, your partner, whether that's your boss, whether that's your customer, whether that's your best friend, whether that's, you know, a family member, whoever that might be in your life, you're always interacting with them in some kind. And there's really kind of two sides to it, right? In every interaction, like there's always what is it that you find meaningful and valuable, like what is the definition, like what's really important to you, and then there is what is value to them. And for in each of those sides, there's really two things that come up with value. Is what I call value say, and then there is what value do. Let me give you an example. Say in my at my work, there's one of my colleagues came to me and they asked me to help. So what they said, that what they were really looking for is to get for me to help them with a project. But then when I was starting to help them, they got really upset. They got really kind of defensive, and I couldn't work it out. Like, what's going on? It really wasn't working at all when I was just helping them. And what I didn't realize, that they really wanted it to be done in a particular way, and really they didn't want my help at all, or at least not in the way that I thought it would be. They just kind of wanted to get recognition in the eyes of another person, there was something that was totally different, that was really important to them. It wasn't my help, but they wanted to get recognition in front of somebody else. And when that didn't quite happen, they were really upset. And it took me a while to work it out, because I really didn't understand what was going on. I thought I was just doing my best to help out. And I was feeling really upset. Like, why is this person, all of a sudden behaving in this way? Like, I'm doing what they asked me kind of to do, right? Just being a good person. And it happens just so often in life. It just happens so often. Sometimes, you kind of, you feel that you're helping someone and you're doing the best that you can, but that's not what they were looking for anyway. Like, that's not something that they really wanted. Even if it's what they might have alluded to or said they wanted, maybe they really wanted something else. And I think this comes back to really getting to a place in every interaction with what I call the value intersection, where you can really, connect, right? At the point with what you really do find valuable. This is the intersection of value, do. Right? Because sometimes what we say we want, what we would like to have, this kind of a nice to have. But the behavior and what we really do in life, that's what really matters. Right? And that's why we want to find alignment. The alignment, the intersection of value, of what's important to you and what's important to the other person, when they can really, just get at each other and find that point where, these two things can really go together. That's when we really get massive change, in the sense that that's when you get recognition. That's when you get appreciated. That's what you get, that kind of mutual feeling of respect, of just like good vibes and respect and trust, because you're now on the same page about what both of you want. And I think that is so critical to really understand in every interaction. If you have a situation with someone in your life, that's your loved one, someone in your work, that is kind of causing you to feel frustrated in some way, I think it's important to ask, first of all, to ask yourself, what is it that is really meaningful or important to me? What is it that I really, really want from this person? Like, what would I truly appreciate from them in my life right now? And then I'd like to ask you to consider, well, what is it that's really important to them? And the challenge here is not to make assumptions. This, if there's anything that's really shot me, in the foot or wherever else with other people, has been that I just assumed that I know what's right for them. Because sometimes you gotta go, well, I know this person so well, of course that's exactly what they would want. And every single time, I believe, or most of the times, I found that I was completely wrong. That's not what they were looking for at all, even if I thought I knew them. And sometimes it's because you're just not seeing their perspective. You don't know exactly what's really important to them. And sometimes we see things how we want to see them sometimes as well. So that's the challenge. But how do we overcome this challenge? Well, the challenge, what we actually want to do in this case, is to be very explicit and ask. And ask, well, how can I help you? I feel that kind of things are a little weird between us. Is there something that I'm doing wrong? Is there something that I can help you with right now? Is there something that you really find challenging that I can help or I can support you in some way? And then see what people say. We do this, not often enough. I know I'm not doing it often enough at all. And that's the challenge that I have for myself, is to be more explicit with people and to really explain what is it that I want, what is it that they want, and find that value intersection. Find a way where we just get on the same page and where their value and my value can really just get on the same page, where we're exactly aligned in what we want, and we can communicate that clearly and in a predictable way. Because when you know what you want, and when the other person knows what they want, and we can actually talk about it, and we can be that for each other, that is the true intersection of value, where we all of a sudden have that bridge, that point where we just meet each other at our best, the point where we start to really just appreciate each other and really just give great value for ourselves, for how we are, and for how we just want to be together. I hope that can really serve you, and I hope we can just find those bridges with each other so much more. Because I think that there's such a cause of frustration, of misunderstanding, and of ultimately just a level of not being appreciated or trusted for the things that we do. My name is Joe Bakhmutsky. Thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you soon.